Hello, coming to you here from the Sydney Franchising Business Opportunities Expo, and I just wanted to talk to you about, from a franchisor perspective and recruitment perspective, some of the key takeaways and standouts that I've seen here at the Franchising Expo this weekend. Number one, new franchise brands. There are heaps of franchise brands here that I have never seen before, people I haven't met before at all. So lots of new people, lots of new brands of all different ranges of types of brands. So there's nothing in particular that stands out except for one type that I'll tell you about shortly. But certainly there's so many new franchise brands coming to the marketplace and presenting and actively recruiting for franchise prospects. So I think if you're an existing and established franchise brand there, you've got to keep an eye on this. There's a lot of new competitors rushing into the market because we've seen over 100 brands here at the Sydney Expo this weekend. The second biggest thing I've seen here as a takeout from the Sydney Expo is crowds of people coming in. Arguably, I think this is without doubt, from a crowd attendance perspective, the best attended franchising expo for at least 3 years. So it tells me that there are a lot of people looking for opportunities and looking at doing something different other than being in employment or changing their situation in life and looking for a franchise business. There've been lots of people in here, and I pretty much haven't spoken to a single franchisor who's been unhappy with the amount of people they've spoken to and the leads they've generated. The third biggest thing I've noticed here at the Sydney Franchise Expo this weekend is it's a bubble tea bonanza. There are 12 bubble tea brands presenting here at the Expo, which is a phenomenal amount for one type of food. I don't think I can recall even seeing coffee brands when they dominated here, seeing just 12 coffee brands, but certainly 12 bubble tea brands is pretty huge for that product and niche in the marketplace. And many of those bubble tea brands are actually presented by the Taiwan Trade Commission that has actually brought a delegation here with pretty much the entire delegation is made up mostly of bubble tea brands, but certainly a few other things in there as well. But that's something to keep an eye on in the Australian market, bubble tea brands. And I think from memory, there's one bubble tea brand that's Australian-based, local here. Pretty much the rest of them are all international ones. One of the fourth biggest things I've noticed here at the Franchising Expo this weekend is big screens are in. If you think you can get away with a little 50-inch screen anymore, yeah, you might be able to do okay with it. But there are brands who are going all out with massive screens that are like 3 by 3 meters in size. And I think we're seeing that even more so as those types of products and that type of technology is becoming cheaper and cheaper, and people are investing in that and having that on their stands and really making their stands stand out and really pop to people as they're walking past. And finally, the fifth biggest thing I've noticed here at the Franchising Expo this weekend is video production. Yes, you can see, and you might know from the stuff that we've done, we've always done a lot of video production. But what I'm starting to see with a number of franchise brands and in discussions when we approach them to do some work with them, is we're seeing them say things like they already have a video production team following them around permanently in their business. So keep an eye on these franchise brands who aren't getting on that video bandwagon. There are franchise brands out there, and I've seen one that has only about 20 locations who has a permanent video production team following their crew around everywhere they go. And I'm seeing some of the content they're creating, and it is very, very good. So keep an eye on this. Make sure you're understanding what's required in video production in the marketplace, because there is nothing like video in the current market to tell the story of your franchise brand and your opportunity and what it could do for a potential prospect to invest in your business. Super important going forward. And that is my takeaways for the Sydney Franchising Expo for the year. It's been a really good weekend, actually, really, really good weekend. So have a look at it. I think there's 3 events next year, Sydney, Brisbane and Melbourne. I think Brisbane's back. So it's certainly worth chatting to the team at the Franchising Expo and getting involved, because I think they're feeling a bit of traction in the marketplace and things are really moving. So we'll catch you again soon.